Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Lance from NerfThis.TV and the first of our playthrough of Torment, Tides of Numenera. What? Numenera.
Mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important, as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open. A white-pink fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside. The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you. Instinctively, you spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well, and you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
Study the world, look at the body.
It's hazy. You were in a tall passageway, its sides slicked with dew, the air warm and moist, as if you were caught in the breath of a giant organism. You remember fleeing in fear and exhilaration, laughing through the terror. What was it that pursued you? Something ancient and cold, its coiling power the promise of oblivion. Its shadowed tendrils struck at you, and the walls where they landed were torn apart utterly, destroyed beyond any hope of repair. You leapt into a membranous cocoon and fell from the station, the moon. And then you were empty. But who were you? What was that creature? A word surfaces in your thoughts, and you seize it before it vanishes. Sorrow. The world fills your sight. You're about to hit.
Okay, we're about to get splattered.
It hurts your mind to recall, but you push past it, a creature of the forgotten world seeking you out across the centuries. But it's not you it seeks, is it? It sought the man whose memories you shuffle through now, and you realize suddenly that you are not him. You were...
I'm schizo.
Who? Who were you?
You should really...
You somehow managed to sidestep everything you know about anatomy, physics, and death, and you were surprised to realize that you do know something about them. And you survived this fall. You suspect that you might be able to reawaken a dormant strength you sense inside you. But who could possibly survive a fall from this height? You remember reaching an escape tube, and you remember being struck by a tendril of force, and then the fall. The fall. You open your eyes in time to see a riot of color around you, your descent barely slowed, and then agony flares throughout your body as a crunching impact destroys you. The last thing you hear is a rapidly cycling whine of energy, and then... darkness.
Okay, we splattered. Lovely. Just lovely.
Of course.
Okay, this is not tricky.
All right.
You study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, splattering on the ground next to the bowl. Not every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light. It needs to be filled, yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls to the ceiling and splashes across pylons wasted. Okay, so clearly we need to put some liquid in the bowl. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral up from the bottom of the bowl. A sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflecting light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls from the ceiling. You encounter the first task. You have 3 stat pools: might, speed, and intelligence. You can spend to increase these chances of success. It's called using effort. Okay. More easily move the bowl in front of you. Use to spend might, a higher level of effort. Don't worry if it fails this task. In Torment, failure often results in interesting outcomes. Okay. 60%, so if we crank this up to 100%. Success. You carefully take hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth and the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of falling light. Fallen light. You're getting light. Drop by drop, the bowl falls, ripples spreading over the blurred outline of the reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello, are you still alive down there? We're up here. Pull the path up. Okay. Zoom more.
Yes, now.
As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from the waterlogged hell. A bubble of stale air. You rest. Your resting point. You've breathed water before and you've lived decades beneath the waves. But this body and air breather and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hand is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed, it must proceed. 1. Deceive him by telling him that you've heard sounds of pursuit. Threaten him until he returns to the task at hand. This is taking too long. Cast a spell and esotery to fix the device yourself. You mumble a few words. drawing power from the air around you until the solution appears in your mind. You snatch the device from his hands, rewire it, and shove it back at him. "Oh," he says, examining your work. "Sorry, I was trying to improve the thing." He waves the device at the door, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water, border cells, and the aquatic viewing area. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that your waves of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. Run, you can come back for it, and they won't be able to protect it forever. Disable the sonar pulse. Use the device to stop them. Now the ciphers in your belt. You run urgent fingers over the devices fastened to your waist. A fog rises in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but will also turn your skin to synth steel, with the surrounding water to boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver sphere. Setting the sphere in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they too are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped into pieces. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are all too aware that more alarms are going off in the distance. The memory begins to fade as if they were being drawn backwards through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into the gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey, at the far end of the dark, whispering field. That's not creepy at all. I really like the artwork for this game.
Yes, now.
It's very, very good. Very well done.
All right.
I remember the other Torment games fondly. There's another
Go.
one. Examine. The light around the door frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind.
Yes.
No sign or symbol tells you what might be behind this enormous door. The dull chill radiates from the bronze segmented surface, and the thick metal wheel seems frozen into place. Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, to no avail. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau, towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machine drill into the base of the cliff below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were desperately, this seems like the right place. You don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we've found? I don't know about this. Draw attention to the hidden details that your more experienced eye can clearly see. Use your charm to persuade her the merits of the site and to remind her that time is a constraint. Convince her with the wisdom. Shadow eyes against the bright sun so that you can point out the thin bands radiating out from the metallic discs. How the energy from these bands affects the local fauna, suggesting an enormous source of prior world energy. She thinks deeply. It's geologically sound. Have you run the sounding samples and checked the strata? No major caverns or weaknesses showed up in your recording? She waits for your affirmation and says, "All right, I'm convinced." The two of you stretch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then she descends into the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests that one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes across your face with inhuman speed. It turns back at its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Use the Numenera integrated into your construct's body to overwhelm the behavior malfunction. Examine the construct for mechanical faults. Look for a deeper solution, perhaps as an effect of the metallic disc itself. This falls into a plateau as you wrap a fiber shielding mesh around the construct's skull. The mesh powers up, protecting the construct's mind from any trans-dimensional emissions that might be in the area. Taking a deep breath, you repeat your command. Acknowledged. It obediently trundles to the site of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel a memory filling the gap in your mind. Block by jagged block, you stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming your memories hurts. And once more there's something else. Hairs lift one by one on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you're doing and is hunting you. Ooh, spooky. I like it.
Yes?
Looks like you don't have any inventory while you're dead, eh? Or maybe you do. Inventory lets you view equipment and manage items. Find the number of sections. It has a number of sections. Okay, general RPG goodies. The backpack contains the items being carried by a current character and can equip, inspect, or transform items. Quest items contain any special items required. Quest First items cannot be discarded or sold. Shows your ciphers you are carrying and your cipher limit. Ciphers show the inner ring are highlighted in blue and are safe to carry. These outer ring highlighted in orange are over your cipher limit and inflict negative effects as long as you're carrying them. You can use, sell, discard, transfer, blah blah blah. Okay. The way I understand it, ciphers are sort of one-off spells, almost like using a scroll, I suppose. Nice looking interface. Journal. Groovy. View and improve character skills. Zmap. And standard options.
Ready.
A vision of a city springs up around you, your city, in flames and under attack. The defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn towards the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from the hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brandishing a large, brutishly large. His weapon is a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sealed in a glossy armor and holding a hilt of a sizzling invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance, single file, confined by the parapet. Trade blows with the giant. Duck under the giant swing and attack before you can strike. Sounds good to me. You roll under the blurring arc of his axe. He's overconfident, testing you without committing to the attack. Yes, he's fast, but not as fast as you are. And when he raises the great axe above his head to finish you, you're able to bury your blade under his breastplate. The blade emerges from the back of his neck, and his life's blood washed over your hands. He falls, taking your weapon with him, and his companion attacks. The invisible blade is far more lethal than the giant's axe. You duck as she thrusts at you, and the wall behind you hisses, destroyed. The return swing cuts through your armor, ruining your breastplate. Ah, bitch. She doesn't have to be skilled with weapon like this. She just has to make contact. You time your attack just as she pulls it back for another strike. You barrel into her, driving her over the wall, and she drops screaming to the ground 50 meters below. Justice. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. Hurl yourself against the door and knock them to the ground. Crack the door open and sneak past them. Charge through them, counting. I think this is sort of developing your character skills. Sneak good. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly. They sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and reclaiming memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain peak. visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying at your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. Of course, it's the only way out. It's a mirror. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocking symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more. But that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo. In their eyes, your actions, you see memories you discover within the orbs, and the choices you made, shining like stars. This is a class selection, methinks. He twitches you aside as some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you. An even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. Doppelganger moving cautiously, that would be some stealthy type. Doppelganger with mystic symbols, that would be a mage. Doppelganger shoulders its way through the crowd, casually donning an 8-fingered glove, and digs its fingers into the glass between you. With a grunt, it tears a hole in the surface shaped like a pointed ear. Carefully, the doppelganger speaks an unfamiliar word into the ear, and the ground itself seems to turn, as if you're standing inside the door the doppelganger has just opened. When you look around, the hole has disappeared, and nothing has changed. Or has it? The doppelganger plucks the 8-fingered glove from its hand and waits for your decision. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edge of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face exudes intelligence and confidence. Shadows of several devices shimmer all around it. Technology of several kinds from a myriad of past ages. You get the feeling you would be comfortable with all of it. The word nano sounds in your mind. Gained Disruptor, Mystical, Descriptor. It's a class. The doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. The decision rings out in a cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell of bells would rot. Something is coming. The mirror fades, leaving a dark open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through. Character creation. Your character memories of the mirror have begun to build your character, but now you have an opportunity to decide on a number of details. First, you can decide to change your type. Types define the abilities and skills that you're able to acquire as you advance. The damage side. Okay, so we're on Nano Jack Glove. Nano's obviously the mage. Jacks are intrepid explorers and adventurers. They are Jacksable trade, hence the name, although the world also harkens back to fables involving a wily, resourceful hero who seems to be named Jack. Jacks are at their best when they combine weapons, armor, esoteries, and ciphers. Clive's elite warrior. Okay, so warrior. I don't know what that other one would be. Adventurer. It's roguish, I would imagine. Scouts, enemy scouts, guardians, warlords, soldiers can be Clives. Most Clives either have a high might. We stick with nano. Yeah, let's stick with nano. I like mages. That pulls on the resources and use apply efforts and active abilities. You can distribute points as you see fit. Clives tend to favor might and or speed, while nanos favor intelligence. Jacks usually benefit from a balanced set of options of points. So I have an extra 2 points. Yeah, let's throw them into intelligence, I guess. Abilities unlock by a type can be active actions such as attacks or spells like the Soterius. Speaking creatures speak with appear in conversation. Negative. Debuff. Teleport one ally to a point within range. Carry more suffers. Okay, let's start with those. Most skills increase your chances of sex, action, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, we can we have 2 points, that's it. Okay, let's leave it on mystical. Although you choose your descriptors from among many doppelgangers in the mirror, you now have a chance to view the specific bonus penalties and grants. And also you can remember that. Okay. So not very intimidating, evidently. Yes, I'm an intelligent person. The Spectre. Everything about the spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pooled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. We took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they're more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you've got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body is still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out there and finish the process. He shrugs. This shouldn't be too hard. It shouldn't be too hard. He closes his eyes. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's the sorrow. He closes his eyes. I hope it lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that and everything will be fine. Tides are like a force, like gravity or magnetism or something, except that respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is, your body in a real world, needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. It's your mind, a construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts, store your true self. Wait, you know how people say in the first place? This is definitely the first place in your memory. Well, it was the first place for me anyway. You'd probably know better since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it'll come back to you later. It'll come to you later. Not much help, this guy. I mean, really. He throws up his hands in frustration. I'm just a part of you. I look at you and I know. This place was made for you, for us. And I remember pieces of knowledge that come to me when you ask your questions. But that's all. I remember pieces about it, but not the whole. It's a crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it and a metal ring set in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. When you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you know, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why, it just happens. There's a portal right there, right down there. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it, and the whole tides thing should take care of itself. Crosses his arms. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What in the hell is that? It's a tentacle monster! Oh, it's the sorrow. The sorrow is anchored to those reflections. It's devouring the power. We have to get rid of them, destroy its anchors, or else the sorrow will erase us forever. Crisis initiated. A crisis begins when they enter into a dangerous situation. Crises are turn-based encounters where you can fight, sneak, manipulate the environment, or talk your way out of the trouble. Each turn you can take one action to attack or activate an ability. You can also make one move. Reflection near you, kill it. You'll lose the sorrow's anchor. Loosen the sorrow's anchor. Go there to attack the position, try clicking on the grab. If it can be applied to attacks to increase the chance to hit, as well as each. can sacrifice her attack for a turn. Double move instead. Attacking. Weapon position. Let's requires a double. Okay.
Fine.
When you apply effort to an attack, it also increases the damage you do. Different weapons and abilities gain different amounts of bonus. Zap. One more. What is it doing now? It's infecting? Fatals are temporary conditions, debuffs. They can improve and reduce all buffs. Something so placed on this character has boosted its armor by 10. Need to find a way to hit it. So no glass, it might have enough residual energy to kill the reflection. Okay.
On it.
An item. Okay, bugger off then. You pried it loose. That thing is a cancer, an infection. It's unstoppable, but you stopped it. I can't believe it's found us in here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing, the sorrow, it's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you until you activate the resonance chamber. I don't remember until I saw it, but that's why the chamber is so important. You have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome there. Go now.
All right.
Where did she fall from? Her body's smashed to talc. It's a wonder she's still breathing.
All I saw was the corona, not her origin point. But look, she's healing already. Spontaneous regeneration.
Ugh, what was that? What did you do? Callista, whatever? His tone has become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is that the man's kaleidoscope of tattoos writhing across his forearms. He wears a long, dark coat, belted to the waist, supplies filling the pockets. You blame me? She emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Eligern. Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure that you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her action trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimuli. Oh yes, it's obvious. Callista, whatever. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal. We know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. What do you mean? You really don't know? He cocks his head to the side. I'm starting to think you're not her. Starting to think? Elegone? Tell me, is it a novel? It's her face. I've never seen anything. People rebuild themselves like that. Only a changing God could have healed so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You're familiar with the word changing, Elegone. It implies inconsistency. Thus, the changing God may well have changed. You'll have to forgive him. He believes someone you once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Most solid self-curtsies while the others bow or spin. I am my sister's Amclistegi. This is Elegone. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a cast-off. The changing gods created you, body and mind. Your sire uses your body for a time and then abandons it for reasons of his own. When his mind departs a new experience, you are born in his cast-off shell. Are there other cast-offs? Born, a changing God left, but dozens, hundreds, who can say? Your sire has been doing this for several centuries. Though if all of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's a wonder any of them survive. The sanctum of your sires, the common belief is he has several such places throughout the 9 worlds, possibly other worlds as well. We were only just able to gain entry to this one because of your grand entrance. That's something coming from you. She gives him a sidelong glance. The changing God is your sire, dear. He discovered a path to immortality long ago, a means to transfer himself to a new body of his own creation. I don't think he knew, however, that when he abandoned one body, another mind was birthed to fill the void. Oh, he knew all right. He eyes you up and down coldly. The only thing the changing God cares about is himself. He doesn't give a single thought for those he leaves behind. We know your creator through legend and research. He's taken the form of men, women, visitants, and other things. His form is fluid, as his name suggests. It's easier, Elegone shrugs. You are a woman, the changing God is himself. I use the cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed any ordinary person. Think about it. If you're a kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do you do? If you're constructing a body for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever. You're not going to let your life end by accident. No, you'll make strong bodies, fast, powerful. Maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. Good point. The changing God has always been vain. He really stays long in shell that doesn't suit his self-image. Perhaps the changing God fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. I've heard the term before, a subject your sire studied in great depth. I'm afraid it isn't my field of inquiry. Of course, child, you must be so disorientated. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised that's all you saw. An excellent question. Having seen your regenerative abilities in action, I suspect they are primary physical, a regrowth. If that's the case, you'd be able to survive most varieties of psychic or molecular decomposition, disintegration, conflagration, and so forth. Degenerative diseases could pose a problem. As you speak, a vision flashes into your mind. It's not yours exactly. Somehow you know this is a memory of the changing gods. You're in a dark room, lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms from many machines surrounding you. What about a body that can withstand the sorrow's attacks? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No, he replied. The thing has no respect for barriers of any kind. Physical, temporal, physic. This is the only way. With a series of gestures, you bring up an image of a crystalline pod. If the resonance chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the sorrow, hunt once and for all. We just need to right focal point the catalyst. The memory fades. Kilisigaga is still talking. You realize that the device you saw in the memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks just like the Spectre had described it. Transforming sarcophagus. Oh God, I hope that's not the only one around. Or flesh eating versus one presumed. God, she's still talking. I think she gets the point. I saw time place just now. I saw you stare into space while Kilisigaga graphically described all the ways you could die, but that's about it. I only noticed it because I did the same thing.
Making a note.
Quest received. Elegant chuckles, then firm and certain he says, not likely, though it might not be impossible. You need people with appropriate knowledge. Distasis, evidence and experience of echoes, although the face you turn to the insane to help a newborn? Where's your judgment, Elegant? I would take it to the order of truth. Now, children. The order of truth? Are you mad? They would sooner take us apart. Knowledge seekers, they learn. We try to wrest secrets from the hearts of the prior worlds. They gather in the city to exchange their findings and help humanity to build a brighter future. She smiles brightly. Our friend Elegern here was once one of them. Frauds, quacksalvers and charlatans. They don't have all the answers, and I'd not trust them with the changing God's secrets. You're just angry that they couldn't help you with yours. The echoes tinkle laughter. But I'm being so cruel, dear Elegern. Let us take our new friend to the order. What's called to change God again? Have you seen me called to change God? Despite what she says, they're not insane. They're eccentrics. She laughs, but he soldiers on. They're worshippers of your sire, the changing God. They devote their lives to understanding your kind. Order of the truth. Changing God. Cult. Let's go to the cult. A wise choice. Your worshippers aren't likely to cut you apart, and they're sometimes fools, but they collect knowledge and data. I'll tell you more in care. Blah, 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 blah. She sniffs and gives Elegant an acid glare. Good counsel. The best counsel is to come with me. I'll accompany the two of you. When you change your mind, I'll need to introduce you to the Order of Truth. Fine, we'll both go. But don't be surprised when Kaliskaga leaves you broken in a ditch with your purse empty, while she laughs it off as a good experiment. Suspicious as always, Elegant. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it's full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you safely to where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A shining smile across her face. Crosses her face. Faces. Gain your first companions. We'll follow your last authors and can change classes. You can speak to them. Okay, take the opportunity to explore the surroundings. You may find items, equipment, blah blah blah. Cool. I think we'll call this one here. This is getting very long, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this, please use the link on the right hand side to subscribe, or you can watch our previous videos on the left. Also, support us by using our Amazon affiliate link, which will be in the description below. Thank you, and catch you on the next one. Bye bye.